What is up, everybody? Happy Devotion Week. The biggest thing to talk about this week is just the fact that all of the songs, the best way to think about it, think very ambient and just very spacey, okay? Like, in goodness of God, when we hit that bridge, okay, there's not drums this week. There's not even anybody playing a drum pad. So there'll be some like small little percussive things like a shaker, but there's not just like full on drums. Now, that doesn't mean we don't sing out like passionately and still sing that part big. But the way that we approach kind of the whole service is going to be very just chill. We'll be standing up, so there'll still be, like energy and stuff like that. But that's just kind of when you're thinking about these songs, like in King of Kings, there's not going to be like this crazy big, like, in the church of Christ was born, in the spirit lived. It's still going to feel big because of the words we're singing, rather than the words and the music coupling so much together. The whole devotion series, the point of this is to focus in on what we're singing, why we're singing it, and hearing one another proclaim these things together. So let that be what's really driving your energy, is the fact of what we're worshiping, not just like the drum beat, or who we're worshiping, not just like the drum beat itself. So anyways, when we look at the songs this week, Goodness of God, we'll just kind of start that off. And then chorus one will all come in together, staying in until the like down chorus out of that bridge, and then we'll come back in together and then begin until the end of the song. I'll take the scripture reading, and it's going to be pretty short. I'm just going to kind of read it. I'm going to ask everybody to read it together, and then from there we'll get right into King of Kings, leading the song in C instead of D, which is the original key. The original key is D. We're going to do it in C, and then from there we'll have a next fade into How Great Is Our God. So in all these songs, we'll have the clicking guide, and then like there'll be like some pads, and like I said, some small percussive things in all of these songs. So there'll still be like verse 2, 3, 4, all that stuff. And remember, we'll be on the ground this week. And then coming on chorus one, King of Kings, staying into the verse 4. In the morning that you rose. That'll just be Lindsay. And then we'll come in together on In the Church of Christ was born with Lindsay, and then be in until the end of the song. Then we'll have that next fade into How Great Is Our God. So this is another one of those songs. It's not going to be so big. I'm actually going to put in a version that, the version that we're going to do on Sunday. So kind of ignore the version that is currently in Planning Center right now. That was really just so that way, I think all of us know How Great Is Our God, but you could know the song. So the version I'm going to put in How Great Is Our God is literally just like me and Sean just like playing it with a click. And that's kind of how we're doing it on Sunday. So obviously, Jimmy, you'll have verse 1 chorus. I'll take verse 2 chorus and the bridges. And then minus that's kind of straightforward. So we'll come in on the first chorus with Jimmy. And then really we're in until the end of the song. Then bumper video will play. Again, we're on the floor, so we're not necessarily going down. We're just kind of going back to our seats. Chris will come up and preach. He's preaching from the floor. And then when we come back up, we'll go into Only a Holy God in C. So this is one whole step down. With a lot of these songs, to kind of keep it in that kind of familiar, kind of more chill, more singable area for everybody, a lot of these songs are going to be in maybe a different key than we're typically doing them in, which I meant to say about Goodness of God, that's in a different key. But on Only a Holy God, pretty straightforward on the song. Basically, we come in on chorus 1, and then from there, we don't go out until verse 4. Who else could rescue me from my failure? Who else would offer his only son? All of that will be Alyssa, and then it has that small little like repeat of Only a holy God, only my holy God. And then from there, we'll come in on the chorus and then be in until the end of the song. All right? And Alyssa, unless you want to do that very, very, very last chorus, I'll leave that up to you. But because the song's already somewhat, longer and we'll be singing those choruses a lot, I will leave that up to you as to if you want to repeat that at the very end out of that instrumental. I know last time we didn't, and if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But we'll let you decide that on Sunday morning. So that's really it. It doesn't really change much for us across the board as far as like what we're singing. Really just the way in which that we're going about it, and really inviting everybody to sing out loud. And again, we're going to be on the same level, so it kind of takes the stage aspect away, which is great. So yeah, that is it. So band, this is where you will start the video. There's not all that much to talk through. Just a reminder, devotion series starts this week. So this Sunday we will be on the floor. All of us will be on the floor. Not sure the exact layout of if it will be like vocalist, band member, vocalist, band member. Still working on that to figure out just what's going to be best. So I'm not sure how that'll look yet because it needs to be the same setup essentially for each week. So that way we're not always having to move stuff around every week. It's going to have to happen some, but anyways. The biggest thing to note is a lot of the keys are different just because I want to make sure that there's automatically a different feel to this whole month of worship. And so just by changing the key, it automatically can make it feel different, whether the congregation knows it or not. It automatically gives a different feel. So Goodness of God is in E flat. We've never done it in E flat before. That is the correct key. I don't want you to see that and be like, what happened? Obviously, I'm leading that, so we needed to change it from a female to a male key. But on that song, actually on all these songs, the way I explain it to vocalists, think very ambient, airy, breathy, however you want to think about it. A lot of these songs, like, we're not going to have drums, okay? Next week and the week after, we'll have a drum pad, but it's not full-on drums. So the best way to think about it is, like, when you get to that bridge, your goodness is running after. Like, there's not just, like, this ride cymbal, just... So, dynamically, it changes some things, but there's still going to be a build, right? What we're singing in that is still true, and we still want to proclaim it. And so that's where we, in our instruments, can still help drive those things. The difference is usually the drums help really drive stuff. And so with this, we are allowing the words and who we're singing to drive everything. Again, we're trying to recenter stuff. So that way what we do, during September when we have drums and we have things like that, we're still making sure that what's driving us is not necessarily the instruments, but the creator of those instruments and the one that we're worshiping. So, so like for you, Chris, I wouldn't say really to change all that much. Maybe just dynamically how hard you would typically play. But if you feel like you could still play the same, because I'm still going to be kind of, chucking away at those chords in that bridge, feel free. But that's the biggest thing, is just to think through dynamics of, okay, there's not going to be drums, so if everybody goes down, should I just be more chill here? Should, for me, like, am I just going to play some diamond chords? Probably, like within that first chorus, stuff like that. But the song maps really are not changing, minus on How Great Is Our God. So, Goodness God is in E flat. We're not changing anything on the song as far as the map goes. When you're listening to the track, it's really more so as a guide of here's the song map itself. And then from there, we'll get into our scripture reading. I will take that, and we're going into King of Kings in C. Kind of the same thing with this song. The song map is going to be the exact same. And some of this is going to be more of a feel, on a Sunday morning. Like, okay, should I be doing, Miranda, should I be like, dum, 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 or is it a time to, dum, 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 da, 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 as you're playing your parts? That's really going to be more of a feel thing, like on Sundays. So that is it for King of Kings. Really not much to change. Mine is just the key. How Great Is Our God? Really, you can ignore the track that is in there. I put it in there just so that way we could be listening to it in A. But Sean and I recorded, and I say recorded, basically we sang into the board like we would on a Sunday morning, just took the video bus out and recorded really quick with a click track. I'm going to put that version in Planning Center because that's the version we're going to do, and I will title it How Great Is Our God, Corinth Worship Acoustic. So it'll be very obvious. Like, that's the one I want you to listen to. There's no keys or there's no bass in there. And so really the biggest thing to note with that, Chris, I would say come in on the first chorus, and then from there on out, you're pretty much in. I'm doing a small stop in How Great Is Our God. Let's see, out. So you have the first bridge. You're the name above all names. Don't you are worthy of. I hit a walk down. And then in my heart will sing how great. And then I go back to that A. God, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You are name above. And then you're just in it back in it big throughout that time. And then we're just stopping. So that way in that last chorus of How Great Is It, you'll hear it in the track. I just really want it to be vocals there. In my heart. So this is bridge 2. How great is our God. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. How great is our God. So that's kind of it. 1, 2, 3. How great. Like really on great rate. So on like the REAT rate part where just you hit, you're hitting that A, going quick. And then we're just going to sing that out. And then minus that, I'll do like a small little bridge after that as well. But again, emphasis on singing. And then we'll not go down. We'll just kind of go back to our seats because we'll be on the floor. And then when we come back up, we will go into Only a Holy God. And that is in C. Again, on this, like Sean, when it gets to that instrumental, where in the, I was going to say the chart, in the track, really big power chords. Sean's playing that part, but very light. So, like, he's still playing that. But it's instead of so big. So stuff like that, again, dynamically. So I know this is longer, but this is more to explain than usual. If you have any questions at all about anything, let me know. But that is it. I will see you guys on Sunday. Come prepared, come ready. I'm excited for this series, and happy practicing.